Today I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at my attempt to recreate the lighting that I saw in a photo. In my last video I covered my go-to lighting technique and the basics of 3 and 4 point lighting. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it at the end of this one. Recreating a scene from a movie, commercial, or even a photo is a great exercise. I've done it a number of times to achieve some different looks, and I think it's a really good way to sharpen your skills. As an artist, you never know where inspiration is going to come from. Last night, it hit me in the form of a music bed ad featuring musician Luca Tencio. This looks like a pretty simple 3-light setup, but let's find out. Okay, it looks like the background is really filling the frame here. I was going for just an all-white background so then I can really paint that with some shadows and some light later. To save yourself from the hassle of running back and forth from the camera to the mark to check focus and lighting, go to your local craft store and pick up one of these foam heads. Throw that sucker on a light stand. You have your subject in frame, in focus, and ready to be lit. What I'm going to do first is shut off all of the other lights so I can really focus on this red light and how that is affecting the subject. For the red light, I'm going to use one of these Aperture MCs. They don't have a ton of output, but the ability to control the color and the temperature of the light really makes up for that. And you can see how the aperture, even though it's small, it's still spilling onto the backdrop. So we're getting that red color back there, but we really want to keep that just on the subject. So what I'm going to do is just kind of flag that off. They make something called black wrap for situations like this. But what I've found recently is just a piece of aluminum foil will be enough to do the trick. I think this is a pretty good start with the red light, just to kind of see the contrast on the face and try to get that to match. But from here I'm going to go on to the background light, because that's where I think things get a little more interesting. For the background light, I'm going to use the Aperture 120D, but we're going to need some modification on that to achieve the interesting shadows and the color temperature that are in the background. And when placing the background light, some of the main things that you want to keep in mind are you really just want to keep the light focused on the background. You don't want any of it on the subject. And you can see it's kind of spilling a little bit onto the subject here. So we'll cut that light using a couple flags. If you notice, there's shadow on the one side coming in just about to his face. So I want to get this flag lined up here. Okay, so we've achieved hitting the background with the light and cutting it so it's not affecting the subject at all. But there's one more thing that I think we need in the background to really sell the effect, and that's called a cucoloris. I'll be right back. Using a cucoloris is one of my all-time favorite lighting techniques. I'm going to use this stick that I found in my backyard as a cucoloris. I'm going to attach it to a C-stand, and then you'll be able to see the effect that it has on the background. Let me turn the house light back off so we can get an idea for what this will look like. I think that's a start, but it's a little bit too close. So I'm going to move it back closer to the light. I think the shot is looking pretty good right now. So the one thing that remains is the blue light that's still coming in from this side of the face. What I'm going to do is use another Aperture MC and set that up and see if I can get a little bit of that blue light over on this side. One of the features that I really like about these Aperture MC lights is the ability to use the app to control the light. I think that looks pretty good, but I need to bring that intensity down because it's just very faint. Now that all the lighting is set up the way that I want it, I'm going to move the foam head out of the way and put an actual subject here, and we're going to see what that shot looks like. I think that's a fairly decent attempt at recreating this image, but I'm going to let you be the judge on this one. leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on this, what you would have done differently, how you would have set everything up. This was a really tough exercise. I actually tore down and set up probably 4 or 5 different times. Not complete tear downs, but just the different elements. So like the backdrop, the red light was giving me a lot of issues. Just not super happy with the way that everything came out. And again, this was an exercise, just kind of practice. But that red light was really difficult. I think I was onto something when I positioned it slightly different, kind of off to my right, almost like a key light, but you're seeing the opposite side of the face. Also adding a flag to cut that light, because if you look at the photo, there's like that red light stops like right along the edge of the face. I would honestly like to see you guys try to recreate this image, and just to see, you know, like what kind of techniques you would use. So if you're interested in recreating this, just reach out to me, contact me. I can send you the file, because I would really like to see what you're able to come up with. And also let me know if there are any scenes from movies, TV shows, commercials, or anything that you would like to see me try to recreate. It was a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you were able to learn something from it. I know I learned some different things while setting things up. If you like these types of videos, feel free to subscribe, because I'm planning on uploading this type of content more often. But for now, I need to clean this mess up.